So unit number 2 is our trends and bonding unit. We're going to start, we've just finished unit number 1. So that was on the back of the first page. Now we're looking at the inside panel of the whole piece of paper. Okay, so this is what the whole thing looks like. We've opened it up. There's unit number 1, and we're going to put unit number 2 here. So for unit number 2, we're going to start by reviewing Lewis dot diagrams. So we'll have some element Lewis dot diagrams, which show the valence electrons only. So for examples, if we look at phosphorus has 5 valence electrons. So remember, you need to spread them out at 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock so that you have 1 in each spot before you start doubling them up. Magnesium, so 2 at the top and then around the clock, has only 2. Oxygen has 6, so 2 at the top and then around the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I can start doubling them up. 6. Noble gases, things like argon, have full valence shells. So you can draw all 8. Something like a halogen, where it has 7, 2 at the top and around the clock. 1, 2, 5, and has 1 empty spot. So you should make sure that you're comfortable drawing Lewis dot diagrams for a whole variety of elements, which you're going to use this particularly when we get into drawing diagrams of compounds, but it's also helpful when you're getting ready for just looking at the structure of atoms when you're doing your trends on the periodic table. So the next thing we looked at was isotopes and average atomic mass. So isotopes are atoms of the same element that have differing numbers of neutrons, so that means they have different masses. We have our notation where you would have A and Z, where A represents the atomic mass. And Z represents the atomic number, which also gives you the number of protons. To find the number of neutrons, so we'll call neutrons N. Capital N equals A minus Z. So N equals the number of neutrons in that example. To find the average atomic mass, we have the formula A average equals the percent abundance of isotope number 1 times the mass of isotope number 1 plus the percent abundance of isotope number 2 times the mass of isotope number 2, and so on and so forth with however many isotopes you have. So that's an important formula for you to know how to use. It is on your formula sheet, but you've got to make sure that you know to do the order of operations right, so the multiplication first before you start adding them up. There will be a calculate the average atomic mass of this element question on your exam. Then we looked at the periodic trends. So the first one was atomic radius. So atomic radius is a measure of how big the atom is. So if we have the nucleus in the center, and then we have an area where most of the electrons spend their time, the atomic radius is the distance between the nucleus and that outer edge. So that would be AR. So this circle is representing where the electrons spend 90% of their time. And the little dot in the center is the nucleus. Okay, so the periodic trend is it increases from right to left and from top to bottom. So small is over here and big is down at the bottom. So it increases from right to left because we have a decrease in the effective nuclear charge, and then it increases as well from top to bottom because we're getting more and more layers of shells. We'll highlight atomic radius there. The next one was ionization energy.